Hello and welcome to Viper Strategies, where we put roulette strategies to the ultimate test. This is not a simulator app. We are using a custom built software to back test strategies against real casino spin data. That means real outcomes, real risk analysis, and real world results. This is more than just content. It's a passion project. After years of getting beat up from the casinos, we decided it was time to fight and strike back. So on this channel, we fine tune strategies, run deep performance analysis, and stress test across multiple sessions against thousands of spins to see if they really have true profit potential. Because around here, we always test before we invest. Hey guys, welcome back to another Viper Strategy software video. Okay, this one's going to be a one that I just ran on the, not just ran, but ran on the previous channel, very popular one. This one's called Elevate by Mo. I do not know if it's his original video, so I'm giving him credit because the subscriber that sent it to me said it came from his channel. Okay, so I do want to run that today. Today's test, we are going to do a stress test. It seems like a pretty resilient strategy of its own, and I know that there's no perfect strategy that will ultimately always win. None that I found yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a stress test today. But before I jump into that testing, I do want to mention I'm going to show you something that I forgot to show you the last video. It's a pretty cool feature, but I had it in my notes, but it just glossed over that part. So I'm going to show you that about midway through the test. And also on the founder circle, I appreciate all the great input, feedback, and emails that I've received. In that founder circles, we decided to name it Viper Nest just to correlate and theme with the channel. So there was a ton of interest. That was more than I was expecting to see, but I appreciate that. So with that being said, we did set up a Discord. Discord, basically, you guys are going to have access to me personally, along with the professor. We're gonna use that as like the platform to collaborate. And me and the professor just recently were talking, and I had an idea about potentially letting you guys vote on the next software, the next new shiny object, right? The next new cool software to implement and program into ViperBet. But I think that would be a little too messy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let the founders that we choose make that decision, right? The initial phase of that decision. So like, let's say there's 10 good ones. We're gonna boil that number down to like 2 or 3 strategies, and then from that point, once we get like those 2 or 3 strategies, we're still going to let everyone vote on it, but then it'll be like less messy and less stuff to decipher through. So yeah, so like I said in the previous videos, those were a little bit wordy. I'm not going to be overly wordy on these upcoming videos. I'm just going to show you the different tests, and then from there you guys could kind of figure out like which ones you like best. Always give me feedback and let me know what you want to see more of. Today's stress test is going to be the stress test, aka resiliency test. So what we're going to do with this one is we are going to run it until it busts, okay? And we'll see what happens today. So let's go ahead and set things up, and we'll jump into the test. All right, let's go ahead and select a file, pick one of those. Let's start a new betting session. Okay, here and here. We're gonna keep this very generic, right? $1,000. It's gonna be the bankroll, and we're gonna use dollar units. Okay, skip that. We're gonna keep the floodgates open on this. We're gonna jump into our strategy manager. Let's go. Where's it at? Under hybrid, I think. Okay, yeah, it's down here. Okay, so we have 2. So before I jump into the test, you're gonna see right here there's Viper Elevate Conservative, Viper Elevate Corners. This could probably, like I said, this is in beta, so this stuff could get cleaned up and probably implemented into just one single system. But this first one right here is the conservative one. We have that set up as that's how it's ran on the original channel. So this is ran exactly how it was portrayed on the other one. I will have links down, so if this is new to you, I ran it a bunch on my other channel. If this is new to you, I'll have links down below in the description so you can check it out. So yeah, you got double streets to bet on. We made that where you could adjust it down or up. Selection mode, you got virtual miss, you got hot plus cold, or random as far as where it decides to pick the double streets, and then reset. So very minimal on the configurations here. Let me just show you the other configurations in the other one. So this one's what we call Viper Elevate Corner. Slightly different progression, but you still have a bunch of things you could configure. Now we could add up to 5 double streets. Um, will that pan out? I don't know. It's something that we could do. But then selection methods, we still got the same ones in there. We got this one too. This one's kind of a protection mode. If you have that enabled, any loss, you just increase in the progression. Um, the second corner, you have the ability to just add that overlapping corner, or just one corner above the double street you're betting on. So I thought that was pretty cool. Not another cool configuration too is this overlapping double streets. Is basically the idea of your overlapping double streets to potentially make bigger jackpot numbers. So that's always fun to play around with. For today's stress test, I'm going to keep it very simple. You can see on the second one too, we had added different progression types. Um, just the normal ones that we typically like to use is Fibonacci, Padavon, Karsh. But we do keep an option open for custom. And some of you founders, once you guys join in, you guys will be able to customize your own progression and run that against the system. And maybe you find something better than these presets, so that's always cool. And of course, the reset high, the reset near session profit is also in there. Everything's in there. So let's go ahead and run the regular one. So the original right here is called Viper Elevate Conservative. We're going to activate that, and let's go ahead and just keep the default the same, right? We're not going to adjust anything, and let's see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and start the test and pull up the visualization so you can see it, and we start. And about halfway through this, let me speed this up a little bit. I'm going to just speed it up to 1 so it goes through the test fairly quick, because I don't know if it's going to be long or short. I anticipate it playing out long, but like I said, you never know. That's why we test, right? We test before we invest. That's why we created this. We were tired of getting beat up, so we wanted to not get tricked by one system that looked really, really cool, but instead, finding out which ones are the most resilient strategy, which ones pay out the best, which ones win more times than not. That's what we're trying to figure out with this. And we need a lot of help in the testing phase, and that's why we decided to open up the founders group, because we really wanted to gauge like how much interest, and you guys gave us a flood of interest and gave some great feedback. So from him and I, the professor and I, we do appreciate all that. Okay, so we're down in the negative right now. Let's see, we're at -7. Session high was 29. Let's see how this one plays out. And then I'm gonna give it to like maybe around, let's give it like another 20-30 spins to get, because what I want to show you, what I forgot to mention in the other video, it's a cool feature. So but I do need to accumulate some spins, and then it'll help me better explain it. I need to take a drink of water. Feeling a little thirsty today. All right, we are at spin 53. Let's pause it right here. I think that's enough information. Okay, so session highs 49, profits 49. Cool. Here's what I wanted to show you. Check out this right here. So I'm going to highlight it. It says triggers right there. What does triggers mean? I'm going to explain it to you. Okay, so currently there's no active. Let me go minimize this so you can see a little bit better. There is no active triggers that's up right now. So you could see in the back end, something that we can't do with our simple brains is track a bunch of different stuff, right? So I know a lot of casinos share some of this information as well, but it's going to show you right here. So that third column's hit 42% of the time, column 2, 28, column 1, 28. At this point, remember, we're at 53 spins. That's what we have to work with right now. Highs, it's showing you all percentages right here, okay? Here's something that's also tracking is the double streets. And see that 3 for 9, that not 3-9, that 9 is representing what we have set as a trigger. So if it misses that sector being double the first dozen, if it hits 9, right now it's hit it's missed 3, because look up here, you got 29, 36, 16. So yeah, hit 3 times it's missed in a row. Okay, once it misses 9 in a row, what's going to happen? It's going to trigger up here where it says no active triggers. It's going to flag. It's going to pop up a red box that says double street missed 9 times, and it'll keep counting. If it misses again, that's 10 times, 11 times, and so forth. Why is that cool? Because then you could put a side bet there, right? It's set on cold streaks right now on missing those sectors like I brought up, but it also does inside numbers and it also does streets. Like if you could look at the streets and see if we have any big ones. Okay, so the biggest street that's missed right here is the 25 street. So the 25 street is the 25, 26, and 27th Street, and it's missed. Look at that, 25 in a row. And there's no triggers that have been that popped up on that because we don't have these set in. Keep in mind, we can set these to cold streaks. We can set these to hot streaks to keep track, and you could put them. Basically, we could put them to whatever we want. So, like, let's say we don't want to be notified until a single street hits 50. I personally know streets to go 80, 90. Maybe we could put that higher, but let's just say 50. So once it hits 50 misses in a row, it flags us up here and says, hey, this is what's going on behind the scenes. You may or may not want to put a bet there. Okay. So we can go hot and cold, and we can also do maybe some patterns where it's like, okay, it's tracking a long streak of black numbers. Those are pretty easy to recognize for most people. So I thought this was pretty cool, So I did want to stop that and show you that because it's more than just testing and running strategies. It's actually capable of using at this point with real casinos. You could have this up next to your screen and use it as a betting assistant. Okay, so enough talk on that. Back here, bet session. Let's unpause, and I'm going to speed up the video, and I'm going to shut up from now. And once we it fails, I'll stop, and then we'll collect the stats, and we'll go over and review and see what happens. So let's see how long it goes. So this part, depending how long it goes, I may or may not have to speed it up. Okay. All right, guys. So there is the first batch. So it stopped automatically because these data sets that I have saved are in batches of 500. And it's not random from a casino. They're not just random numbers. They're 500 consecutive. So like if you were to play that casino that was where I got this info from, these data spins, these are in sequential order. They're in the right order that they're span out. All right, some crazy results. I really didn't think it was going to reach 500. Um, that's quite a bit. So this might take longer than I thought it would be. So we're gonna pick a different data set. But before we do that, we're gonna just go review what's going on. So let's jump into the strategy manager. And what I'm going to do is look here. I'm going to highlight it. We got wins. So out of those, we had 325 wins, and losses, we had 174 losses. It's off by one. Okay. But so let me go ahead and just log that. So we definitely had way more wins than losses. And that should be expected as far as you have so much coverage with this. Okay. We have 4 double streets covered. So we're gonna log that. Let's go ahead and stop this betting session. And let's see. We started with $1,000, right? $1,000 bankroll. Okay. We're using dollar units. Let's see what's the profit loss. $400. Okay. So we ended with a net profit of $400 after 500 spins. So we are going, that's almost a 50, that's 40% ROI on our money right there. That's easy numbers, easy math. End balance, where's our end balance? Right there is 1400 is where we stopped. And then our session high, we peaked at $1,412 in profit. Our session low, wow, surprisingly, it only dipped down to $946. So we only used $54 of our bankroll to achieve that. Okay, so let's go ahead and log that as well. 946. Okay, and I do want to show you another cool stat. Okay, so if you were to replicate this on a simulator app, if you were to replicate this on a simulator app, it's going to take you hours. It's going to take you a long time. Um, just for round numbers purpose, there are some speed tables that spin around like spin to spins about a minute. So just quick math for you guys. If we were to sit on a online table, on a speed table, minute to minute from result to result, that's going to be 500 spins. You divide that by 60 because there's 60 minutes in an hour. We just replicated 8.33, 8 hours and 33 minutes. I mean, that just shows you the power of the software too, that we could really run these tests. It's going to save us some time. But of course, I'm going to run another batch. So let's go ahead and reset this. So I'm going to go over here. We're going to clear out all this. We are going to, so that stopped. We're going to just pick another random one. Let's go 21. I like that number. So this is another batch of 500 that we're going to see if it goes through. Start a new session, of course. The only thing changing here is the batch, right? The data set. We're going to keep everything else the same. We're going to still use $1,000 bankroll. All right. Enter base units, still going to be $1. We don't need these. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that's activated. Remember, this is the original version. I will have links down below so you can go over to the other channel and see the original. Okay, so we're still running default. Okay, all these are going to be on default. And save that. All right, and once again, I will stop talking and speed this up. That way, time-wise, it's helping you guys out. I'm gonna sit here and watch it, but for you guys, it's gonna be a quicker video. And then I'll stop and review at the end, or if it fails. So let's see what happens here. Start a new session. Okay, guys, that was extremely long. Took a long time to finish it up. Okay, so it technically survived 1,000 spins without going bankrupt. All right, we did not go over our initial $1,000 investment. Okay, it did not perform quite as well as the first. That first batch, it performed fairly well. I'm gonna go ahead and log these first, but we didn't. We did end at 717. Let's check how many wins versus losses. So that part's very similar. I'm gonna pull the screen over to show you guys as well, but we got 321 wins against 178 losses. Okay, and let's go ahead and stop this session to get the rest of the details. Of course, $1,000 bankroll was used for this test at $1 units. Profit loss. Okay, so we are where we stopped it at 500 on the second batch was minus $283. Okay, and end balance is going to be 717. We're gonna put that down. Session high only peaked out in a session high of 100. I mean, 100, $1,038. Let's see where our session low was. So the session low was pretty. It went pretty deep into the bankroll. Nothing crazy. Again, this was made to be very conservative approach to play this specific strategy. So we did dip $598 right there. Let me go ahead and just close out of this and then pull the screen over so you guys can visually see what I am collecting. Okay, so this was test number one, 500 spins. Test number two, oops, two, 500 spins. So let me highlight this. Okay, so $1,000 used, $1 bankroll. First one ran great. $400 in profit and balance. We peaked out at 412. That one was surprising because it pretty much floated in profit the whole time. There was a lot of teetering up and down, but the overall trend was positive. It was trending up. And then the win loss is they're very similar if you look at the two. 300, about a little over 320 each, and around 175 losses each, which is to be expected when you have that much coverage. Now let's look at the second group of 500 spins ran. Of course, same bankroll and unit size. We ended with a minus $283 and balance was 717. Session high was we only went up 38 bucks in a positive. Um, One key takeaway with this is obviously this one was designed to have a very conservative and safe approach to protect bankroll. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm not going to do any further spins. I could be here potentially all day the way that it's currently configured. So if you do want me to run another test where I maybe get a little bit more aggressive on the configurations with this strategy, let me know in the comments below. But what this highlights is pros and cons, right? Pros meaning, look, if you do get a good set of numbers and you get ahead quick, it can make some good money in the long run, okay? And then, but also another pro is it didn't kill the bankroll. I mean, nobody's going to sit there for 1,000 spins. Like I told you previously, 500 spins comes out to about 8.5 hours. So somebody sitting there rolling out 1,000 spins, that's going to push you like right around 17 hours of playing time. Nobody's going to really do that. This test wasn't to show like that's how you should play. It's really to show resiliency. And so as far as the stress test, it definitely passed with flying colors. It just takes a very long time for me to still sit here and babysit the software, in the sense that I gotta watch where it could potentially end. So I have to sit here and visually watch. You guys got the sped up version, so it's not as long of a video for you guys. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this test. The next video I post will have a different test, and then depending on which ones you like best, we could go deep dive into them. Another test would be that I thought it would be a great idea is to really focus on a specific strategy and fine tune that configuration. But in the same breath, that's why we kind of need help, because like those configurations, that risk reward, we're trying to find the best base default settings for the configurations. Okay, so this may be the best for some, meaning like they want to really protect their bankroll. They play super conservative, and they leave when they're up a little bit of money. But for somebody that's really trying to capitalize and make a lot of money, those configurations might be a little bit more aggressive. But basically, this was like one of the original ways to play this system, Elevate, and it was just progressing up on losses, and then a win, it would go back to the previous progression. So it was set up very conservative. Maybe next time we could hold it at that progression until at session profit, but instead it was teetering up and down. And obviously, if you get a long string of losses, like what happened on the second data set, what's going to happen is you're not going to have enough power, enough winning power to get you back where you want to be. It did look like it went on a long string of wins as well after the first initial wave of losses, but still, it was never enough to get caught back up to where it was at that plus $38. But yeah, like always, guys, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Do you want me to run another test on this one? Do you like this test? What are your thoughts on it? And the next one coming out will be posted on Friday, and it's going to be a different test. And just to show you guys what we're working with and kind of see where we want to go with this channel. Okay, so I appreciate the support that you guys been giving me through the comments and through email. I really appreciate it. And like always, guys, till next time, be cool, stay cool, peace.